Good evening, I'm Jennifer Meckles. Colorado's largest school district is once again weighing whether or not to close some schools. Denver Public Schools says there is no formal list of schools on the chopping block yet, but there will be soon. 9 News reporter Rachel Krause joins us now. Rachel, the reason for this hasn't really changed. We've talked about this for years. Enrollment just keeps declining.
Yeah, Jenny, DPS says those declining enrollments have made this necessary, and that may be a little surprising for a lot of folks considering that the district welcomed in thousands of new-to-country students just last year. Still, Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero says they need to act now so that they can continue to ensure every DPS student gets the quality education they deserve.
And doing it right is what we need to do, and what I believe we're all working towards making sure that we do together.
Just a year after the DPS Board of Education voted to close 3 schools, now the district is considering another round of school consolidations and closures. Superintendent Dr. Alex Marrero says it's needed.
It's becoming untenable that we continue this story.
Dr. Marrero says keeping under-enrolled schools running is expensive. And by closing those down and merging others together, they can offer kids more educational opportunities, programs, and resources. But there's no list of schools on the chopping block, at least not yet.
November, top of November, there's a list, and a lot is going to happen.
Just 2 weeks after that list comes out, Dr. Marrero says the board is expected to vote on the plan. But he says they won't be changing which schools get the axe.
Our methodology, when we produce a list, as sensitive as this may sound, we're not going to be convinced otherwise. We've made the decision based on data and what's best for the district. So.
Before that list comes out, DPS will hold meetings around the district. School board members Scott Esserman and Michelle Quattlebaum say people deserve a chance to weigh in.
And we know nobody wants their school closed. Nobody.
This entire process is going to be difficult.
Well, change is hard. Many here say it's needed.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be painful. And it's necessary.
DPS will hold those meetings all around the district starting on September 21st, and those will run out until October 15th. Then that's when DPS is going to put out the list of consolidations and closures on November 7th. And just 2 weeks after that list comes out, the board is expected to vote on those recommendations on November 21st. We'll have all this information for you, including the timeline of how this is expected to play out and where you can find information about a meeting near you on this story at 9news.com. Reporting live in Denver, Rachel Krause, 9 News.
All right, Rachel, thank you. This also comes as districts across Colorado, including DPS, are asking voters for more money on the November ballot. Denver is asking voters to approve a $975 million bond. Aurora wants a $1 billion bond and a $30 million levy. Westminster and Dougco both have bond measures on ballots there. And Cherry Creek's asking for a $950 million bond and a mill levy increase. It would hike up taxes for about $180 a year if you have a house worth of $500,000. Now, within the last week, Adams 14 moved to put a nearly $114 million bond and a $10 million mill levy on the ballot, excuse me. Also, Adams 12 with one of the biggest bonds we've seen, $830 million, and a $34.5 million mill levy override. The sun has set on this hot summer day. For many, Labor Day weekend marks the very last celebration of summertime. On to the fall. 9 News weather impact meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen joins us. I don't think we're quite done with summer yet, though. Your forecast would indicate it's still here for a bit.
Your hunch is correct. We are in for an even hotter day tomorrow and then another hot day on Tuesday before we finally do get a cool down. So in the weather impact headlines, we are tracking some more heat there. 90s tomorrow and Tuesday. Fire weather will be a concern. Although we don't have any warnings in our state, we are very near critical enough levels to issue a warning, so be in mind that we do have that in our forecast. And we're also still tracking a pretty decent cold front that we're expecting to come in here on Wednesday and cool us off and give us another one of those false falls, because we've got more heat coming our way after that. Here's your timeline for Monday. Lots of sunshine early, but you'll notice a few more afternoon clouds than we've seen over the last few days, and the temperature might be a couple, 2 or 3 degrees warmer than it has been, at least today. So here's your forecast. High temperatures across the Front Range here for your Monday. Lots of 90s possible here along the Front Range, maybe staying below 90 at the base of the foothills, and then some comfortable 70s up in some of the mountain towns, maybe a stray 80 or two as you go through your Labor Day. I'll have more on that forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
Corey, thank you. A security guard shot and killed a man outside a gas station in Aurora last night. Investigators say this looks like a case of self-defense. Happened outside the entrance of a 7-Eleven at the corner of East Colfax and Peoria. Aurora police say a security guard walked outside the store when a man came up behind him and held a gun to his head. The two struggled, and the guard took out his own gun, then shot the man. We spoke with a woman who says her roommate witnessed that shooting.
The security guard had no other choice to fire back because the guy in the parking lot was waving a gun and threatening to shoot in the parking lot. Did not enter inside the building. The security guard did his job.
The man who was shot died at the hospital. The security guard at that 7-Eleven, the guards there are employed by a private company, Iron Spear Protection Group. In a statement today, the company tells us they are backing that guard with, quote, absolute certainty. Heartbreak tonight in Israel. Candlelight vigils honored the 6 hostages found dead in Gaza. The Israeli military says those hostages were found in a tunnel under the city of Rafah on Saturday. They'd been shot and killed moments before they could be rescued.
This was not the outcome that we hoped for, and the heart breaks. You know, all day you woke up, I heard the news, and I just felt my heart was broken all day. And it felt the least I could do to come with my son and show up and say that I care, and I'm so sorry that this happened to you.
Vigils are also being held tonight in Tel Aviv. Tens of thousands of protesters filled the streets, demanding Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu do more to bring home hostages held by Hamas. Protesters blocked roads, set off flares. It's one of the largest protests since the conflict started last October, and crowds continue to demand a ceasefire.
They should take responsibility and do the most necessary thing is like release the captives. The captive that you can before it is too late, and later on deal with the war with Hamas.
We have to bring the hostages back. We need a deal now for his future, for our future.
Netanyahu says Israel will not rest until it catches those responsible. President Biden said yesterday, after the news broke that the hostages' bodies had been found, officials are on the verge of reaching a ceasefire agreement.
I'm optimistic because the leaders of both have met in both in Egypt. Our people are continuing to meet, and we think we can close the deal. They've all said they agree on the principles. So keep your fingers crossed.
Biden also said talks are ongoing this weekend. This also comes as the United Nations is trying to vaccinate as many people in Gaza as possible against polio. Since the war between Israel and Hamas back in October began, immunization rates have declined, so both sides have agreed to hours-long pauses in fighting to have these vaccination clinics. The goal is to vaccinate 640,000 children in the Gaza Strip during a 3-day effort, with hopes of extending to a 4th day, if possible.